Welcome to the Tales of Aoth, a tabletop podcast set in the world where magic and modernity clash in the age of steam and metal. 6 players, as a colorful cast of characters, explore the nations of Aoth and discover the marvelous wonders as well as the ever-increasing dangers. With an unknown threat looming over the horizon, will our heroes be able to save the world? Find out, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you give us a like and a comment down below, that'd be great too. This video will be a session 0, a one-shot of sorts, where the individual party members go through their own origin stories before they are called by the Emperor on a grand adventure to save the nations of the Empire and the world as a whole. Hello everybody, welcome. We are doing character session 0, chapter 4. This is going to be Haka's one-shot, played by the man, the myth, the legend, Zanza and Zaru. Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself and your character?
Hi, my name's Zanza, and I played Haka in Aoth Chapter 1, and I'm the only returning character. And today, I'll be playing as Haka. It's been, I'd say, 10 years after the main events of the main story. Yeah, give or take. Of course, this
I like
old
to keep
man...
it purposely vague.
Great, I love it already. But it seems like this old man is probably gonna be dragged back into things. Before any of that happens.
Haka, the orc, the myth, the legend. One of the heroes to stand beside the Emperor and help bring about the new Golden Age. A man who once wielded immense power, brought down many dangerous foes, and befriended many in the valleys and the plains of the northern crescent. But where was he now? By the Emperor's side, sitting next to the most powerful man in Aoth, and playing politics within the inner seats of the upper ring? No. Instead, he was given an early retirement on a farm in the fertile Crescent Plains. His request to spend time with his newly wedded wife and children. A quiet and peaceful life as reward for placing the rightful heir to the throne. But while Haka wished to stay away from the ever-complicated game of power and politics in the imperial court, fate would find a way to drag him in. Description of where you are right now. The Silvermoon Farm is a small 10-acre of land bestowed by the Emperor himself for Haka to spend his days as he wished. Filled with plenty of vegetables, rashid, gabui, bao dogs, and a couple of gav to take care of. While it does seem like quite a bit of work, the legendary Haka would get hand from his neighbors for help while his children and wife were away. The morning light shines on the orc's face as Haka gets up out of his bed. The sounds of children playing in the living room. The creaking of floors and the rhythm of the stomps and screams of your 2 children, Zakiba and Yoon. The 2 roughhouse with each other as you greet them, immediately stopping as they notice you.
Good morning, kids. Yoon, Zakiba.
They immediately stop and look as they notice you and is like, Baba, we're hungry. Yeah, we're hungry, Baba. Make us food, Baba.
All right.
The children demand, feet hitting the floor in protest, demanding to be fed. From the other side of the room, a fair half-elf in a blue spring dress begins to saunter in. Eileen. No, shh, come on, wait. You can goo-goo gaga after when I'm done with my descriptions, please. Eileen, the love of your life, beams a small smile as she begins to get the children's attention. Come on, you 2, to the dining table. Your father is going to make something wonderful. She says with a small smile and a wink, distracting Yoon and Zakiba, letting you have free reign of the kitchen, allowing you to make a meal for the family. In this, you can cook any simple or moderate dish that you wish to make.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Yes, nice, delicious rations. As a bonus, whatever dish you decide to cook first, you will gain knowledge in that dish. It will be like you have a recipe already on hand.
Ah, shoot, that's really cool.
Which will give you a plus 15 on your cooking check.
How do I sneak in morning veggies? I believe that would be some grain, eggs, milk. Shield Isa. Damn, that's serving size of 6. Leftovers for the kids.
Well, you know, they're growing children. They're definitely going to need more food.
Yeah, this is actually perfect for the morning.
You have cooked the food, bringing hot plates over to the table and placing a serving onto it. Your kids start to chant while they pound on the table. Ba, 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 ba. Bring the shield Isa over and it's like, yay! You're the best, Baba!
The only one.
Zakiba and Yoon begin to dig into your delicious meal. Eileen takes a seat next to you, giving you a small peck on the cheek. The sounds of dinner and eating start to become increasingly blurry until your eyes snap open the morning rays hitting your face as you awake to a silent calm. The sound of animals outside brings some atmosphere of an empty, still house. Goodbye, family. Hello, morning.
Oh, that was a dream.
Well, not really a dream, more of a memory.
A memory that was my dream. Oh no. Anyway, I have to ignore it.
You still get the plus 15 for the shield Itza.
Hell yeah, that's all that matters.
That's all I. Yo, fuck my children and wife. I got shield Itza.
Damn, those kids go think about having pizza in the morning every day. Hey, you got some good Isa around here? It's like, you got that store-bought Isa. It's like, shit.
I remember when my Baba made Isa. It was the best. Can't have shit in the third ring. On guard. You may proceed as you want to proceed.
He'll be up just because his body is used to it. Ooh, another day.
As you leave from your bed, the wooden floorboards give a soft, gentle creak. The stale air begins to leave as you soon open the windows and let fresh air in. On the side drawer, you are greeted with a photo from the past. Inside a modest wooden frame holds a picture of a memory. Your previous party, your friends taking one last photo before the pivotal moment before invading the Empire and overthrowing the tyrant Dowager Empress. The memories of your previous adventures start flooding in, the good times and the bad. All of them accounted for within the frame. But the one that stands out the most is the birdfolk standing right next to you. The future and rightful heir to the throne, Shaburzor Cyrus, the exiled, or as he was known to you, Korok, the emperor. You can look within the frame and I can give you a description of all of the characters. Go back into a trip up memory lane.
Ah, this really does take me back.
The first one in the picture is obviously Korok. A young birdfolk, once naive, now has grown into a leader in a new golden age. His speeches were optimistic, driving hope in the people around him. Below the picture, you see a door stuffed with the invitations of the upper ring of the empire, lavish parties, and politicians inside the decadent inner Empyrean court. How many invitations have you responded to?
Look at all these invites. Which ones did I definitely went to the first one. I remember that. And then there's the second, maybe the third.
Well, did you go to imperial summits? Did you go to parties?
I think I definitely go to the important ones. The one with my emperor, my friend. But the rest, I mean, there is the Silver Moons. My people. I can't just leave them.
Oh no, you haven't, but weirdly enough, the Silver Moons have never been invited to any other event other than strictly political ones. Just curious.
If they wouldn't be allowed, then why should I?
Good point. The next one, that is of course next to Korok, is another bird folk. This one in a hood, a shroud of sorts. You, of course, know her as Illith, the wise and often guarded birdfolk mage. She disguised herself as a priestess to an unknown cult to acquire a still-living ancient, the champion of the Empire. She was an exile of the Empire as well. She was once the royal consort after being Korok's spoil of war. Though through time, they found that they truly cared for one another. Eventually, with your help, they reunited in the Northern Crescent, and she proposed to be his wife, and he said yes. Now known as Shabanu Kasana, she is the Empress of the New Golden Age, fulfilling her role as emissary of the arcane arts, and as a dutiful wife.
Illith. Nice to know that those two are still together after everything.
Of course, on the other side, after Korok and Haka, is a lizardfolk bodyguard of the famed exiled assassin, loyal to Korok almost to a fault. This, of course, you would know as Damia. A brawler, she usually resulted to using her fists rather than her words. Being close friends with Korok, they formed a special connection when the Empyrean Zodiac were hunting them down. She now leads as general of the Crescent Militia, stationing in Ragor with the help of the Empire loyalist Veros.
Damia was always strong, still strong.
Hopefully not butting heads with everyone, as she is well known to do.
I think she probably butt a good number of heads. Deservingly so.
Next to her is a plucky, fully armored engineer, an adoptive daughter of the militia general Tor. You, of course, know her as Engineer Yasmin Liu. She was an engineer of the Northern Crescent, helping Raysk build small devices and communication beacons to talk to the other towns. Her fascination with new magic machines made her a perfect ally to decipher and construct from blueprints found during your travels. She is now the director of the Empyrean Engineer Corps.
Ah, Yasmin. Always new ideas. Always keeps on moving. I wish I was there for your father.
Next, you see good old Javid Shu, a human brandishing a musket rifle. His badge is a bright light for many people. An Imperial musket man turned turncoat, becoming part of the Crescent militia once Korok saved him from a rampaging Rajaz. They soon became the best of friends. Eventually, finding out that the birdfolk was the true heir, he began to rally troops to support a coup. He is now the commander of the Sentinel Watch, guarding the capital rings with supreme accuracy and compassion.
I wonder how he's doing nowadays. To think, after everything, it was still a shock back then, fresh in my mind, that he'd be the heir.
The exiled assassin, Korok. Birdfolk becoming an heir to a majority human dynasty. Very strange turn of events, but a most welcome. Going through your train of thought, your eyes drift over to the catfolk that is right next to Javid. You, of course, know her as Fariha, a mute catfolk assassin and sniper. Trained by the Red Talon, she became a wandering mercenary, eventually settling down in Westport and becoming the permanent employer of a tyrant in the town, selling her mind and heart for a modicum of comfort and belonging in her miserable life. With your intervention, she gained a surrogate family, and more importantly, learned to love herself. In the final confrontation with her once master, she was the one to repay his kindness in full. She wanders with a new purpose. One last assassination mission. You haven't heard much from her, though you feel like she's still out there, somewhere.
Aaliyah, wherever you are out there, may the ancestors bless you as you find our common enemy.
Next on the sort of list of unlikely adventurers, you seek an old birdfolk wizard with an arcane knack for creating magical pastries. You, of course, know him as Joffrey Javad. He scoured the Northern Crescent to find the missing pages of his mystical cookbook. Finding your party, he used his powers to aid and assist in liberating the Empire from tyranny. With your help, he completed his mission. Finding the last page, he continued to wander. He hasn't contacted you since.
Joffrey, it's been such a long time.
Next to the old birdfolk, you see a small human girl with a strange ability to shift into different animals. You, of course, know her as Lula. She was a druid with a connection to the Feywild, able to connect with the spirits of nature. While you traveled, she saw the beauty that new magic provided, as well as the horror that it wrought. She vowed to rid the world of the unnatural horror that was new magic. You haven't seen her since.
I remember that weird one time, that frog water.
Yep.
It was foul, but the kid got heart. Wonder how she's doing. Although, however she is, I hope at least there's still some natural magic there. If not, dang.
Looking over, at first you thought it was another child, but then you realized that it was, of course, your good friend Jasper. A halfling smuggler who was as deadly as he was short. The gunslinger who was once caught and beaten within an inch of his life by the Rooster Zodiac, joining the party to have his revenge. Though he didn't know the death of one who wronged him was a journey to discover something more than petty violence and death. Since then, Jasper has been on the straight and narrow, becoming an enforcer for the lower ring merchants.
Jasper. Always appreciate the help. I'm glad he's on the better path. Maybe I'll hear from him, maybe not.
Next, right behind Jasper, you see an Akosian legate, a lizard folk with a large stature and a beaming pride on his face. You, of course, know him as Xander, an exiled general of the lizardfolk polity due to crimes he didn't commit. During your visit to the kingdom, you found the corrupt legate and restored his honor. As promised, he led Queen Chrism's army to the walls of the Empire to dispose of the Dowager Empress. In the aftermath, he promised to become a godfather to your children and bring them to the kingdom to enjoy all that the Aoth polity had to offer. He has yet to write back to you since then.
It's been a long time since I went to the Lizardfolk Kingdoms.
How many times have you visited Lizardfolk Kingdoms, Haka?
Probably a few times, but not as much as I would have liked. A few times for the family, less for me. It was specifically for my kids.
Pretty sure Xander had a wonderful time.
Although, the more I think about it, probably should have improved the relations between the kingdom and the Empire.
Well, that wasn't your job description.
Yeah, still feel bad.
Speaking of feel bad, right next to the lizard folk, you see an older human, his arms crossed looking to the side. A small smile, his face partially hidden behind his red scarf. You, of course, know him as Tor, a proud Empyrean general and leader. He left his position when Korok was ousted by the Dowager Empress. Hoping to reunite with him to restore his rightful place on the throne, he gave his life to fight for what he believed in. Judging by the results, his sacrifice was not in vain. Did you ever repay your respects at his memorial?
Of course I did.
How many times?
Once every year. On that day, I wish I was there. Quicker, if only I were stronger, faster. Guess the ancestors only made me strong enough, but not as strong as I want, as I need to be for the people around me.
So your reminiscing is interrupted as knocks strike at your front door. Fists pound on the wood like thunder as it snaps you out of your nostalgic gaze.
Who could that be?
Dun, 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 dun. As you approach the entrance, you open the door to see a familiar face.
It's the man!
Oh, wait, shush, wait, hold on. As you approach the entrance, you open the door to see a familiar face. An elf with golden hair and a bright smile holding 2 jugs. Your neighbor's son, Samuel Ragnavir, is an elf farmer who comes over to help occasionally. Though he seems friendly, you feel like it's more genuine since he doesn't really know that much about your legendary status. Born from immigrants from a Nixonholm clan, their family sought refuge from something, though you never really asked them why specifically.
Good morning, Sam. What's up?
Good morning, Mr. Silvermoon. Ready to go to work? He says chipperly as he brings 2 jars filled with liquid, placing them on the dining table, humming a little tune as he begins to get ready to work on your farm.
Ah, yes.
The early kabooey gets the worm, Mr. Silvermoon. I had my breakfast already, and I milked the cow on my papa's farm. I had extra time, too, so I milked the bulls as well as the cow calves. Your leftovers.
Sam.
Samuel's comments confuse and disturb you as he whistles, as if the universe was at peace, putting on his working boots and gloves.
Sam, you said you milked the bulls and the cows?
Yes, I did. They felt mighty relieved afterwards.
Sam, which one of those is the cows and which one of those is the bulls?
Oh, I forgot to label them.
Sam, I need you to find out for me which one of them.
Okay, no problem, Mr. Haka. I will taste test it for you. Okay,
Sam,
well,
no.
I mean, you probably could smell them. That could work.
Oh, thank God.
As you remember, and everybody else is starting to figure out, he's not exactly the brightest.
Oh my God.
It raises questions on how quickly he was to resolve with the taste testing. You're wondering if he's done this before.
Sam, how many times have you done this?
Only a couple of times. Those were the only times that I forgot to label them.
Wait, so you've done this before?
Well, luckily, I figured out which one was the milk and which one wasn't. First try.
Please don't tell me that you went for another spoonful.
No, that's only just a spoonful. And that's when I took out the comically large spoon. Very nice.
Jesus Christ. Sam!
Oh, good. Ready whenever you are, Mr. Sailormoon.
Did he put labels on before he walks out?
He didn't taste test it. You told him to stop. It's a coin toss.
Sam, I'm gonna need you to check and label these.
Okay. He takes his pinky finger, is doing a little dip, just tastes it, and is like, Okay, this one is milk. Starts to label it. He seems to be very lucky picking them.
The milk first. Thank God. Oh, okay.
You can't exactly go by the smell test because unpasteurized milk is also quite rancid.
Oh.
Yeah, have you ever guys smell unpasteurized milk before? It does not smell good.
Oh, jeez, I never thought about that. About the farm life. I'm not a farmer.
What? You're not? Oh, shit. Well, this is going to be weird then. I had a bunch of farming terms. I thought you were going to be... Oh, no.
Don't worry, I've been playing Stardew for years. That should be
okay,
good.
Yeah, no, you've been playing Stardew. This is fine. Samuel puts on the labels, goes over here, and is like, ready whenever you are, Mr. Silvermoon.
Alright, just need to boots.
With the
Alright, let's go.
So, you can go outside and work on your farm. Your to-do list is the Rashid pens, the Kabui coop, the Bow Dog hut, and the Gav, as well as the small little patch of vegetable garden. So Samuel is just going to be whistling to himself. Get to work, Farmer Haka.
Alright then, let's get the big things out of the way.
2 large Gov cows grazed in their pen, content with their accommodations until they were let out for the season. Govs are big bovine creatures with spiraling horns for defense and finding a male. They usually provide milk and meat to their owners. See, a wave of nostalgia hit you as a younger Zakiba would brush the gentle giants. As you gave him tasks to work around the farm, pondering to himself, seeing you, he perked up as he went over to you. Baba, I saw some soldiers the other day. Riflemen, I think they were called.
Riflemen? Where were they headed?
I don't know. They were following a person, I think his name was Lou?
Lou.
Yeah, last name. Oh, I know his name. It's Lieutenant. Lieutenant
isn't a name, Zakiba. It's a position.
Well, I mean, how would he know? He's a child.
Nah, it's alright, Zakiba. A lieutenant, huh? But why? Why are they moving soldiers out?
I don't know. It looked like they were doing something important. I think one of them said defending the Imperial homeland. Isn't that what you did?
I sort of did. I did that before I went on my grand adventure. I wonder why. I wonder what they're up to. I'll have to send a letter.
Baba! I've been thinking about it for a while, but I want to join the Imperial army and fight for the Empire like you once did.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, we're Silver Moons, right? We're supposed to fight for what's right and defend our homeland. That's what they're doing. That's what Lieutenant told me.
Wait, they talked to you?
I said hi, they waved back, and we talked a bit.
If it's something you really want to do, Zakiba, then you're gonna have to learn, and I can teach you.
Okay, Baba. I'm ready to learn whatever you have to teach me.
That's my boy. First, we gotta get these girls ready.
Yes, Baba. Sort of pouts as he continues to brush the gov, going.
Easy, girl. Don't worry, Zakiba. They'll work you in the Empire too.
As you are done brushing the excess fur off the govs, they seem quite happy as they sort of like nuzzle onto your like face and start licking you, mooing contently.
Good.
Yes. What am I supposed to go with that?
No, I was gonna add more to that. I was gonna be like, yes, that should get the heat off you.
We should give them buckets of water to drink from.
Where would I place buckets of water? I would place a bucket of water probably somewhere like right here for both of them.
They meander over to the troughs as they want to sip from the water, just mooing.
Some of that sip.
You hear like a little bit of like gargling as they sort of like lap up the rest of the water. Very docile creatures they are. Next on the list, up to you.
All right, let's check on the Rashids.
The Rashid pens have 2 Rashids waiting to be released into the open pasture. Well trained, they would always return to eat for dinner. They look over to you and their heads bow to you at the sight of you, a gesture of friendship as it considers you one of their herd. What are their names?
Zaku and Henry.
Zaku and Henry sort of chirp as they see you. They missed you quite a bit, as Rashids always love to travel in herds. Zakiba's laughter can be heard in the wind as nostalgia sweeps you in. As a child, Zakiba loved to feed the Rashids in their pen, but when he tried to pet their side, they would panic. Baba, why won't the Rashid let me pet him?
Can't pet them on the side like that.
How would you pet them?
You have to make sure that they can see your hands first. They see forward rather than side to side.
Oh, okay, Baba. Zaku is the first one to bow again after got startled, as it does like little low chirping noises. Zakiba just sort of like puts his hand for it. The Rashid like sort of looks directly at his hand, still chirping as he slowly puts it on like the bridge of where its eyes are and where its beak is. Slowly closes his eyes as it does deep little coos as, Zakiba just starts petting him. And Zaku loves it.
There, see? Exactly like that.
Yeah, thanks, Baba.
That's fucking with me, dude. Holy shit.
These are the memories of you taking care of
I
your
know.
kids like a good dad.
I know. And that's the thing that's fucking with me. It makes me happy that it makes me want to cry.
Next.
Let's check the hut.
Alright, so the hut is over here. A small hut for your pet bow dog. Their name is on the placard, right above the entrance. What was their name?
Eddie. Money.
It appears that the bow dog hut is empty. The bow dog, of course, wakes up before you do. While bow dogs are not the best at warding off predators or would-be thieves, bow dogs are the best animal companions because of their innate sense of empathy towards their owners. This provides a person some comfort even if they are truly alone.
Eddie.
You hear Yoon's giggling as a visage of the past emerges once again, calling out the bow dog's name. Eddie! Eddie! Bubba, the bow dog is gone. I can't find him. Where did he go?
I don't know.
Time to roll a perception check to find Eddie. Hey. Okay.
Let's see where he went.
You will find the bow dog hiding in a bush next to the front porch. Apparently, their new hiding place. There he is. There's Eddie.
There's the chunky boy. There you are. Come on, Eddie. I know you love pie. Come here, boy.
4 of his 6 legs try to, like, climb on your leg as he, like, tries to get up towards you.
You don't gotta do that. Hey, come here. Give me kisses. Give me kisses.
Eddie just starts immediately licking all over your face.
There, you see, found him, Yoon.
Yep.
He's alright.
This is that.
There you are, Eddie. How you feeling today?
Eddie barks back, giving you a little bit more love as he somewhat knows the mental situation that you are with all of these memories fucking up with you.
He knows how I'm feeling.
Yes, exactly. He's a bow dog after.
It hits Haka. I'm just more susceptible than Haka. Want a treat, boy?
I think you've been giving him a little bit too many treats.
This is the first treat of the day.
So that's the bow dog hut done. Next.
Let's how see Sam's doing. Bye.
Oh, hello, Mr. Ragnavir. I tried looking for eggs, but I couldn't find any. I'm starting to think these aren't pampulis.
These are kabuis.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't find any eggs. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna go over and feed the Rashids.
Alright, Sam.
Kabui. A small coop filled with 4 kabui. Natural foragers, they like to bring back shiny things for their nest, as well as make great messenger birds due to their innate sense of direction. These kabui were gifts from the Emperor to send messages to the capital, though none seemed to be sent for a while.
How you all doing today?
Small shriek can be heard from a little Yoon. Visage from the past appears near you again. Baba, Baba, the kabui bit me! Cries as you can see a small little bruise on her finger. These birds are naturally nippy around their nests.
Well, of course, you went into their nest. You gotta give them their space. Give them respect.
She would take that to heart if she wasn't bawling her eyes out right now.
Aww.
Roll to soothe the little Yoon's restless spirit.
Y'all ready for this? Hey!
Unnatural 20. Okay, there we go.
Unnatural 20.
So, what do you say to her?
Hey, come here. Let me see that.
It hurts, Bubba.
No, it's okay. It's not that too bad. Just need to wrap it up. Gotta be careful. Now, you gotta give them the space that they need. And you gotta connect with them a bit more. Can't just go straight to the nest. Gotta go through them first.
Kabui sort of like pops over next to Yoon, and Yoon, of course, starts screaming because she's now a little bit terrified of kabuis.
Oh, why would you be terrified of them?
Bit me, Bubba.
It did, but you gotta give them the trade. Here.
So, what do you do?
I'm going to put bird feed into my hand, and I'm gonna let the kabui come to my hand.
Immediately looks at food, then just whoop, hops, starts munching onto the feed. He's like, just sort of looks at you again, then just bites into the feed.
There, just like that.
Can I try it, Bubba?
Of course. Transfer the feed to the hand that didn't get bit.
Mm-hmm. And the kabui just like immediately just starts climbing from your arm over to Yoon's. She just like giggles a little bit, like, it tickles, Bubba!
It'll do that.
As it just sort of like perches onto her arm, and then just starts immediately eating the food. Looks and then gives a little bit of a peck as a kiss, and then just eats again.
And now you're able to go into the nest.
Yay!
A simple trade.
Hops back.
No mail today, huh?
Just sort of looks at you with its like parting googly eyes.
Yeah, no mail today, Eddie.
Last but not least, the garden.
Come on, Eddie. We gotta do some garden today.
The garden is a small patch of heaven that your wife made, filled with common vegetables as well as herbs and new magic plants suited for apothic creations. However, for some reason, it always keeps attracting more weeds than usual. A familiar blue dress flows in the wind as you can see your wife, Aline, tending to the garden. The contrast of her pristine dress making contact with the soil was a beautiful sight to behold. Honey, can you help me with the weeds? She asks,
of course.
Somewhat exhausted from a long day's work.
Of course.
Roll a strength check, baby.
No. What's a paladin?
You're getting old. You know what? Just using the power of boners compels you. I will give you an advantage to this roll.
Come on. 19!
Oh! you pull out all the weeds from the desert beds, leaving a clean garden, at least for the rest of the week. Laughter from Zakiba and Yoon can be heard as Aline is over to kiss you. Thank you, my legendary hero, she says sweetly. Roll a perception check, please. Okay, nice. The words of Samuel just sort of floating in as your wife Aline sort of smiles at you lovingly. And then Haka, Haka, old man Haka, you there?
Yeah, Sam, I'm right here. What?
You've been staring at the air for a while.
Oh.
Samuel looks at you with a bit of concern, as you have been daydreaming as you were working.
Sorry about that, Sam. What's up?
I'm all done with today's work.
Oh, thank you, Sam. I'll appreciate it.
Just as you jump down, a familiar larger elf starts coming in through the front gate. Jorgen Ragnavir, Samuel's papa.
Jorgen von Strangledude!
As he calls out to him as he arrives at the front gate. Aha! There is my little man. Not making too much trouble for legendary hero, are we?
No trouble at all.
He lets out a little chuckle as he pats his head, looking up to see that it's late in the afternoon. Time for Samuel and himself to eat supper and go back home to his farm down the road. Samuel is getting ready to pack up his things and leave for the day. Jorgen walks up to you out of earshot of his son. I wanted to say thank you again for keeping an eye on my son while I am away. He is a bit slow, but he is a good, hard-working boy.
He is.
Hopefully it wasn't too much trouble.
No trouble at all. Although, he should probably label the jugs.
Oh, he did that again, didn't he? Sometimes he's a little bit overzealous when it comes to working on farm.
Oh, he definitely knows what he's doing.
I think he knows a little too well.
Although he did almost think that was a Pompuli pen.
Like I said, a bit slow. Jorgen says with a little sigh as he motions Samuel to go home for supper. The older elf farmer does a slight bow in your direction, making sure to be courteous because of your status. Haka, you can invite them for dinner. That is a possibility.
Why don't I invite you both to dinner tonight?
I don't want to impose.
No, it's fine. Besides, Samuel worked hard on the farm.
Okay, if you say so. Guys start going back into the house. What would you like to make?
Don't think about family. Don't think about Isa.
Family. You can make Isa again if you want.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
Go over here as they politely sit down after taking off their working boots, obviously. Don't want to make a dirty house.
Hope you don't mind Shield Isa.
Samuel's like, I love Shield Isa. It's my favorite thing.
Then Shield Isa is.
Jorgen sort of goes like, I think I remember you making this one for your kids. Yeah?
Yeah, I remember I made these a good number of mornings.
How are they doing?
Oh,
He doesn't know.
I think they're doing good right now.
That's good.
Tsukiba should be doing well currently in the Empire.
Oh, he went to the capital, yeah? Of
course.
I remember he wanted to be a big, strong soldier man.
I remember giving him the practice and training before sending him off.
Yes, he really decapitated that straw dummy very well.
I really hope that all the hard work paid off. And then there's Yoon with the apothecary.
What a nice little girl. I'm sure she will grow up to be nice and compassionate like your mother. As in Aline. Does he know? He doesn't know.
Oh, she's not her actual mom.
Oh, I see. They look related, though.
I know it seems like that, but Aline can't have actual biological children.
Ah, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine. Nothing major. Nothing major.
What I learned from being here is that family isn't necessarily just bloodline. It is the connection you make with others. That is what makes true family.
You're absolutely right.
No, it's like, well, enough talk. Let us dig in.
Indeed.
They sort of do like a little prayer for the emperor, actually, before they start to eat their meal. Do you wish to participate or just stay silent?
I'll make a prayer. Prosperity for the emperor, empire.
Kind of weird. It's like you're praying to your best friend, but oh well.
Everyone has the right to believe, and I believe that my friend has put in the hard work and effort and suffering after everything we all went through.
Jorgen immediately notices that this is a bit of a sensitive topic. He's like, yes, of course, and we thank you for your service, that of you and the Shabozord Cyrus. Yes. You see that subject, he's starting to be a little bit on edge.
Ooh, jeez.
Well, you are the legendary hero after all, so they're just trying to gauge, like, should we be a little bit more formal? Should we be a little bit more lax?
I'm assuming they've been my neighbors for years.
Quite a while, yeah.
It's fine. You've been my neighbors for quite some time. And now I'm opening up, especially with all the help that Sam's been giving.
Both Sam and Jorgen have been helping. They essentially do like shifts. So one works at the farm for one day, one works at the farm, and one helps you out. And then on another day, they sort of switch, divide the workload. Of course, Jorgen and Samuel have a bigger farm with a lot more acres, but of course, they're doing this for profit rather than it's just given.
Yeah. How was your day at the farm, Jorgen?
It was going good. I had to bring deliveries of vegetables to the adobus, though money could be better. There has been bigger farms. They call it agriculture corporation.
Corporation?
First time I have heard of it. It's a group of farmers and landowners that have been buying up different plots of land. They've been trying to do it for ours, but we have been holding fast for these years. Unfortunately, money is starting to not be so good now. See, he's like trying to find the words for this because common, of course, isn't his first language.
I definitely said a lair.
You don't have to do that on our behalf. We don't want to cause any trouble.
It wouldn't be any trouble at all. With the big changes happening, there should be things that stay the same. Good, honest, hard work.
I can say I wish our farm was also historical property like yours. The agricultural corporation is a bit frustrated that they can't buy up your land. The emperor wouldn't allow it.
Is this an opportunity where I could see if I can make my farm and their farm conjoin that way that property isn't bought up?
Maybe. That is a possibility. Although, you'd have to go through...
I would have to go through a number of steps.
Yeah. Probably best to talk to the emperor about that if you get the chance. You also notice that Jorgen and Samuel are the only two that work on the farm. Never seen, an elven woman working on the farm. No wife to be seen.
Wait, Jorgen, if I may, I wanted to ask, haven't seen your wife ever on the farm?
Oh, yes. Well, it's because she is no longer here with us in the living world anymore.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I was taking care of Samuel. I wasn't truly alone. I have you, and I have her sister, my wife's sister, in the city. Samuel's like, oh yeah, that's right. Chale Sorel.
Sam lightens up the room every time.
He really is a ray of sunshine.
You can't be sad around Sam. It's impossible. For every sad memory about your family, there's a Samuel Ragnavir.
Jorgen looks at the clock. He's like, oh, jeez, it's, look at the time. We have a lot of stuff to do before sundown, so we should not take up any more of your time.
Oh, I apologize.
Jorgen and Samuel give you one sort of goodbye, glory to the Empire, may his golden age last for eternity, and then as they sort of disappear. That's sort of like the common saying. You could tell that Jorgen was somewhat walking on eggshells. He doesn't exactly want to piss off the legend of the Empire himself. Not going to be a good look for the neighbors.
You didn't have to do all of that. It's just me.
Fortunately, they don't see it that way. The sun is setting. You got a very early day ahead of you tomorrow.
You're right. Ooh, a very early day. You know what that means? Let's look through the letters.
Start going through the letters. A lot of them are, to Haka, the legendary hero of the Empire, savior from the tyrant of the Dowager Empress, and so on and so forth. It's a bit long-winded.
Jeez.
You have been summoned by the Emperor and the Empress to attain a ceremony of crowning the next captain of the riflemen. This was, of course, a long time ago, before, Zakiba even enlisted. To Haka, legendary hero of the Emperor, and it goes on, so on and forth. You are hereby summoned by request by the Emperor to attend the pinning of the Medal of Valor and Bravery to Sir Edward Doric, Lord Commander of the Sun Battalion. There will be cake and food, as well as lavish party with music.
Dorkic, huh?
Dorkic. You're gonna have a fun time when you meet him eventually.
Hey, look, it's Dorkic.
It keeps going like this. Is like there's a royal party, a political summit.
They go there.
Quest for you to reveal the grand opening of the apothecary, that one you did go to. There was a couple of others, like for the graduation of Zakiba and Yoon, graduating primary school. You just sort of kept these as mementos, and over time they just became more and more disorganized as the years gone by.
And now I'm organizing them.
Yep.
Because thinking about writing letters, you're gonna have to organize them.
Yep. Most of these are just invitations that are far past due.
Yeah, I should probably write letters to all the ones I did go to. Be like, sorry, my birds were busy.
You do that, for the rest of the dawn as the sun starts to set. You manage to get through halfway of all letters through your diligence, but now you are starting to get very tired and sleepy.
Sleepy. Bed. Why? Torkic.
As you're snoring soundly, you're dreaming of your wife and kids, more lovely memories of you making shield itza and eating, playing with the kids and the kabui and the bow dog, Eddie. And then your eyes open with the rays of sunshine hitting your face. The familiar smell of stale wood travels into your nose as you prepare to get ready for another day of work. Jorgen will come over later in the day, leaving you with the morning to yourself. You decide to take this time to go out and forage in the northern crescent after feeding the animals. As you're going outside, you can go through the northern crescent and explore different locations. There is the Raisk wildlands, the Rashid plains, and the Ragor forests. When you're going over to them, you can roll for stat and skill checks to see what you forage. You can also go to multiple locations. However, for each location extra, you will add 1 point of exhaustion, leading up to 3 exhaustion total. So, you want to go to the Ragor Forest first?
Yep.
Okay. For the stats, you can roll survival, nature, and animal handling.
Let's hack and check. Let's try nature.
That one does succeed. For that, you manage to get 4 scrap and 2 cloth through your foraging expedition.
Oh shit, dude. Let's go.
And you get to keep that for the rest of the campaign. You can either go to the Rashid Plains and the Raisk Wildlands if you so wish.
You know I love the Gamba. Rashid Plains, let's go.
Same thing. Survival, nature, animal handling.
And I'm guessing that a point of exhaustion is a -1. Well, let's roll all of these. Survival.
Mm-hmm.
Hey!
There we go. What's up? All right, next.
Let's go with animal handling. Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
that actually works. Okay.
All right, last one. Last
nature.
one's nature.
Okay.
319s. Let's go, boys.
All right, so for survival, you ready?
Yeah.
You get 3 meat, 3 fowl, and 1 egg. You went on a hunting trip. Well, you succeeded in all of them, so I'm just going to go down. For nature, 3. You get 2 cloth.
We're going to add more of that, boy.
All right.
Let's
Are you ready
go.
for your animal handling?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so for this, you manage to find a forest skitter just going around and using your coaxing manages to hop on your hand. You now have a skitter.
It's a skitter, boys. Let's fucking go.
Very common, well, everywhere. So he like lems clothing as it like thinks it's food.
Oh, look at the little guy.
Lem.
You're pretty fucking good what we got.
You got a little skitter. Usually skitters want to run away from any immediate danger, but this one just sort of sits on your hand. Lem. You got a new skitter. What are you gonna name it?
I think I'm gonna name this little buddy Jackie.
Aww.
Like Uncle Jackie.
Actually, no, there's kind of like a child, so if anything, they're like cousins. Okay, after when you are done, you set forage goods to the side, placing them down to organize at a later date. Exhausted, you turn around, getting ready to relax for the rest of the day. In the corner of your eye, you see a birdfolk in an officer uniform and an eye patch, cracked scar going across the right side of his beak, standing in the road, politely waiting for you to notice him.
Officer?
I'm, sorry. Pardon me for intruding. Am I interrupting something?
Nothing at all. Just came back from foraging.
Birdfolk says with a bit of a somewhat raspy voice. His hands are behind his back as he speaks in an oddly elegant pose. I am, Captain Tiai Feng Kwang of Yethdo Rifleman Company. I was sent to tell you about your son, Zakiba's rifleman exam.
Oh, that's right.
Memories start to flood in of Zakiba's letters to you, being nervous at this time in the barracks and training to become a foot soldier of the Empire. His words were filled with confidence, but he was afraid that the commanding officer would not see it that way. So he sort of just steps up to you and is like, I would tell you the results, but I believe someone else might be more qualified for that task.
And what do you mean by that?
The captain does an about turn and takes 1 precise step back. Behind him was a man. A familiar young man with a rifleman uniform with prints of a Lauhu beast on his lapel. Your son, Zakiba, with a bright smile, runs over to you to give you a big hug. The laughter mixed with tears.
You see, you worried for nothing.
Baba, I passed the graduation exam. I'm a rifleman now.
You're a rifleman now. I'm proud of you.
I missed you so much, Baba.
I missed you too.
Xiai, just sort of going to sidestep a bit just to keep eye contact. He passed with flying colors, aced every part of the written test, and performed the physical tests with grace and excellence. I wouldn't expect anything less from the son of the legendary hero himself. As a reward, we decided to visit you and tell you the news before we head off.
Where you headed off to?
Before you can answer that, Zakiba's stomach sort of growls.
Oh.
And it's just like, is it okay that we eat at your house, Baba?
We have leftover Isa, favorite.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love leftover Yuza. I kind of promised that we would eat here, and I'm a bit hungry.
Of course, by all means.
Zakiba chuckles nervously as he scratches the back of the head. Then nervous if you wouldn't make dinner for your son and a stranger. Although, you, of course, would do anything for your son.
I'd do anything for my son.
They're gonna walk in. Eddie is more of an outdoor bow dog. A very familiar scene as all three of you walk inside. So, you can make Shield Iza again, or just give the leftovers, I suppose.
Nah, my son graduated. He can have the leftovers for later. He deserves one fresh.
You're the best, Bubba. You make it, place it down. Xiai Feng Kuang, he starts doing prayer to the Empire, and Zakiba does that as well. Great Emperor Sabojor Cyrus, we thank you for this bountiful meal, and hope that your golden reign will last on forever. Amen.
Amen.
You notice that Zakiba never really prayed as a kid, but now he's doing it. So, and then, of course, Zakiba, hungrily as ever. A very familiar sight as he just starts stuffing his face with Ita.
It brings smile to not just Haka's face, but my very own. Damn.
Yep. This, Shield Ita, I'm actually quite familiar with it. Captain CIA says, like, I remember having to make it multiple times for the long treks through the northern Crescent Plains. But it seems that you have perfected the recipe.
Absolutely. Nothing like Shield Iza for me and my family.
Yes, of course.
Where you head off to?
You see, like, Zakiba just has, like, his face stuffed with pizza as he, like, chews and then swallows. Oh, right. Land Battalion is being mobilized north of the Crescent alongside the militia per the Emperor's orders.
For what reason?
Zakiba just sort of looks over to the captain, says, we have not been given the full details. Well, we assume that we will be once we reach over to the militia barracks.
Sounds like they're setting up for something.
I would expect that they would. So, for a bit more context, riflemen, they're like soldiers of the army, and then they're riflemen. Riflemen are they are the career soldiers of the Empire. They are trained, educated to be sort of the best of the best. The Emperor sort of saw fit to create a standing army of paid soldiers and not go through conscriptions. The Emperor can declare conscriptions at any point in time, though he hasn't done that yet. No one knows why, but if the Emperor wills it, then it must be so. While the Emperor can use conscriptions, fill out the ranks, he decided that it would be a better idea to have a standing army of professional, paid, and most importantly, trained soldiers for whatever will come next. Although through 10 years of peace, creating a large standing military force is about the exact opposite thing to do, which is strange.
Captain?
Your guess is as good as mine. I am only the captain, not the Lord Commander.
Is it Lord Commander Dorkic?
I know of... You mean Dorek, right?
Yeah.
I know of him. He is not my Lord Commander, no.
I fought against battalions before, right? Not like whole battalions, but like back in the day, when they were
more like squads.
This is just 1,000 people, not all of your soldiers.
No, this is 1,000 soldiers in a battalion.
Oh.
But a battalion is more than just 1,000 soldiers, but they usually count battalions by their armed forces, for obvious reasons.
I can think of a couple of reasons to have a battalion set up over there.
Do you care to enlighten us? Or is it only between you and the Emperor?
Nothing leaves this room just in case.
Imparting such secrets on just a mere captain, I'm honored.
But you're not just a mere captain. You're my son's captain.
He sort of smiles and is like, very well.
This was, of course, back in the day. There was an ally we had for the rebellion. He was the most honest individual. I don't think he said a name. He might have, but that name could have been a lie. I know him as the Clockwork Mage. Out of every single thing I've seen, from a young ancient to the last dragon to monstrosities made by those cultists,
Zakiba just sort of like leaves his jaw like open before eating a slice of pizza, and Captain Xiai just doesn't exactly know how to process this.
This clockwork mage was able to wield new magic in such a way that I've yet to see, and we have never seen since. And he was the puppet master behind the Empress, quite figuratively and literally.
That is quite a story. Captain Xiai just sort of furrows his brows and looks and is like, I don't know how much of that is all true. If it is, then we will look for this clockwork mage.
It's impossible to look for him.
No force is greater than the Empire and his golden champion.
I certainly hope so. If the Emperor told me to raise my sword, go again, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
I see.
But so far, all I've gotten were invitations to parties.
I don't know if those are exactly the Emperor's invitations. He has a vizier now. Have you not heard?
A vizier?
Yes.
I have not heard.
The vizier usually manages the Emperor's day-to-day schedule. Chances are those invitations are probably from him.
What's the name of this vizier?
I don't know his name personally. He is only known as the vizier. He's an elf, an old elf in stature, which means he definitely has a lot of wisdom. A very powerful ally for the Emperor, I'm sure.
Perhaps I should pay a visit one of these days.
Yes, I think that will be a good idea. There's one thing that you do notice. Zakiba has returned, but Yoon hasn't.
Where is my daughter? Where's Yoon?
So Zakiba just kind of puts another slice of pizza again, just like sort of hesitantly. How should I put this? Yoon dropped out of the rifleman program. Zakiba just kind of looks confusingly. He's like, did she not write to you? I thought she would.
Any thoughts that Haka had is now just silence. He is looking down on the table. What? She didn't even tell me she dropped out?
She was honorably discharged after she punched a training officer in the face.
What?
Zakiba's like, in all fairness, he deserved it.
Who? What? Puts his hands up in the air. Zakiba's never seen his dad like this. Who was it? What happened? I need to know. I need to know the story.
I think it was training officer Yao, I believe. One clean punch and he was out.
Out? Okay.
You trained her well, after all.
Oh, but why did you? Oh God! By the ancestors.
I don't know the full story of everything, but I assume the military life was not suited for her.
She was the one that wanted to be there.
Actually, Zakiba was the one that wanted to be there.
Then why did Yoon want to be?
I guess Yoon just wanted to go wherever her older brother was.
Aww.
Yes, but the military life does not suit someone of such a free-spirited nature. Captain Xiai is trying to find euphemistic words for this.
She's a rebel.
Yes. She didn't want to follow orders, and when Training Officer Yao wanted to give extra disciplinary action, she decided to proceed disciplinary actions on herself.
Gosh. Yep, this reminds me of me. Oh, jeez. Okay. So where is she now?
Well, we thought that she would either come back to the farm or she would message you, at least.
There hasn't been no mail sent to me at all.
Yeah, Zakiba is just like, oh boy. Bubba, I'm pretty sure there's a good reason for that, right?
Yep, and I'm gonna find out.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna get Jorgen and I'm gonna get Sam. I'm gonna tell them that I'll be gone for a while.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Well, it was good meeting you again, Haka.
Again?
Yes, this is not the first time we met, Haka. I, of course, saw you once before with my good eye. Sort of taps the eye patch.
I'm trying to remember when this one moment was. Do I have to roll for that?
You can roll. Yeah, sure.
Let's see, boys. Can we remember? 11?
His name doesn't really pop up anywhere.
Maybe not name, but was it during the rebellion?
Yes. You're, struggling, aren't you, Haka? Would you like a reminder?
Yes, I would.
Well, I did see you there, because I was positioned on the wall that you charged past during the battle alongside the rebels. I was told to hold the line. And this, he sort of taps onto the side of his head where now you realize it's a wound. This was your last parting gift.
Oh, shit!
Just sort of smiling, is like, in fact, I was looking forward to meeting you again. At this point, Zakiba is just sort of like, his eyes are darting back and forth between you two and just sipping tea.
Oh.
Yes, it has been a very long time. About 10 years, give or take, but who has been counting?
You definitely have.
Not as much as you'd think.
But you kept yourself busy.
I have. I remember, angry, bitter, the arrow still in my eye, that I would vow to seek revenge for what you have done to me. The Emperor, I thought I was going to be executed on the spot after the Emperor took the throne, but he gave me a pardon, granted me mercy, and, funny enough, Aline was the one to administer treatment to my wound. The real funny thing is I don't actually remember if you were the one who actually shot me with the arrow. And I don't think that you would keep track of such a thing. It has, in fact, been a very time.
Hey, Yak.
Yeah?
Would I be able to remember if I was the one that shot him?
Well, with a knowledge history of 11, definitely not.
Yep. Even the battlefield. Oh, jeez.
The battlefield is a very hectic and confusing place, and...
Hang on. I can remember one thing. Let's see. That we charged through. I was in melee. I used my bow and arrow when I needed to, but during that fight, I think I shot at this guy.
Honestly, you don't remember. And he doesn't even remember if you were the one who actually shot him. This was just simply anger and revenge taking over. I wanted revenge, but our Emperor wanted something else. He instructed me to train the next generation of riflemen, and that's what I did. And training the new young cadets and seeing your son for the first time, I decided to forego path of revenge and put my faith into the Emperor. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time, and I wanted to thank you. Your actions put me down a better path. I am honored to be in command of your son. He is a bright light that will shine on all of Aoth. That I am sure of.
And I am honored that you trained my son.
To be fair, I only did half the work. It seems like he had a very good teacher before he joined my ranks. So Zakiba is, after sipping his tea, is just like, so I'm confused. Do you still hate him, or...
What?
He was kind of half paying attention to that. He was just sort of like freaking the fuck out. Captain CI is like, no, I do not hate him anymore. All is forgiven. Though my eye patch does chafe a bit. I will blame you for that.
That's fair.
That, of course, it's a joke. He's obviously joking. After your somewhat awkward meal, after some more discussion, Zakiba helps with the dishes, putting them out to the wash basin to dry. CI motions to his clockwork watch, signifying that it was time to go. Thank you so much for the dinner, Bubba. I promise to write you as much as I can.
Of course. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you came.
He gives you a hug, a small kiss on the cheek, and just goes. CI is like, go ahead, I will follow you. I need to talk to your father alone for a moment. And, of course, Zakiba nods as he begins to go out to the front door. If I may speak, legendary hero Haka.
Please.
Are you happy? Are you truly content with your life here?
To be honest, while it is nice and relaxing, I feel distant.
Siai's hands follow his coat pocket. A small gold-frilled reddish-pink paper gets pulled out, similar to the many invitations from the capital, as the paper envelope gets placed down, sliding it forward onto the dining table. From one old man to another. It's a bit too early to settle down on a farm for the rest of your life. There's so much the legendary hero has to offer in the world of Aoth, and I think that, and your friend thinks the same as well. This time, I think you should answer his call.
I pick up the layer on the table.
Captain Chiai gives you a nod as he walks out the door, giving a gentle clack when it shuts. So the gold embroidered letter stares back at you, tempting you to open it. You know it's from the Emperor. After years of silence, he's called upon you once again.
I open this letter.
As you begin to open the flap of the envelope, the silence breaks as you hear a loud knock on the door. It is Jorgen and Samuel. He looks back at his son, and as he takes in a deep breath, he has some bad news for you. The Ragnavir farm is going to be sold. Due to running out of money in order to pay the debtor, a larger farm, the agricultural corporation, purchased the land as an extension. Jorgen asks if you can take Samuel to his aunt in the capital while he stayed to deal with the final preparations. He could even take care of your animals too while you were away, for as long as it took.
Of course. I have several reasons to go to the Empire anyway.
And just one more then. Samuel held the farm animals that he could bring with him as you prepare to go to the station, planning to take the next train to the heart of the Empire. And that's where it ends.